Okay, welcome back to another workout vlog. This is workout vlog number 10. So this is our leg night for week 5 of week 12. So we kind of changed things up a little bit tonight. First off, I actually stopped taking my pre-workout supplements. I'm just drinking coffee for my pre-workout. I felt like they were kind of upsetting my stomach a little bit, so I just kind of cut those out to see how it's going to affect me the next couple workouts or weeks. And so far tonight, it felt pretty good at cutting them out. Then what we're doing differently is we've been on a routine where we do 4 different movements per body part, doing 4 sets of each movement, doing a total of 16 sets. And it's getting to the point where I'm starting to feel a fatigue. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pick like 1 to 3 exercises for the night for that body part that I need to work out. So let's take legs, for instance. So tonight, what I decided to do, instead of doing 4 different movements, I picked 2 movements that I could warm up on, and then I could really just go ham on. Still trying to do a total of 16 sets for the quads, but not focusing on so much variety. So this week I did leg extensions. I did 4 sets of leg extensions, and then I moved on to the hack squats, and I stayed at the hack squats for a while. Then I moved back to one-legged leg extensions. There's nothing about my routine that I'm married to that I have to be like, hey, this is exactly what I have to do in order to get results. I have to use these angles or this rep range or this amount of sets or this amount of whatever. If I feel like I need to change it up some in the middle of a block, I'll change it up, because there's nothing that's so important to me that I feel like I have to do that and only that. So let me explain what I'm doing with the hack squats here. So what I did with the hack squats is I started off with a full range of motion, and I went 1 plate, 2 plate, 3 plates, and then I did another set with the 3 plates, doing sets of 20. And then after I did those, I dropped the weight to 135, so a plate aside. And then I did 10 reps in the top position, like half reps at the top. Then I did 10 reps in the half position from the bottom to the mid position. And then I did 10 full reps all in one set. So from top to mid, bottom to mid, and then full range for a total of 30 reps for each set. And I did that working up to 185. So I did 2 sets at 135, 2 sets of 155, then 2 sets of that at 185 pounds. And then I moved back to one-legged leg extensions. And that's how I trained my quads tonight. And I had a wicked pump and veins shooting out all over the place whenever I got done. And then Richard changed his up some too. So what exactly were you doing tonight? And let me talk about this real quick. The reason why I decided to change it up is because if I'm doing 16 sets and I'm feeling like after 3 sets I'm not warmed up and my knees aren't ready or my hips, I can do 4, 5, 6, 7 sets of warm-ups. And then I can go into 5, 6 sets of working weight and working sets. And I can really focus on beating the crap out that muscle. But if I'm getting joint pain or if I'm not feeling it where I want to feel it, I can simply change that out. Like, you know what? I'm not feeling this tonight. This isn't hitting it like I want it to hit. This isn't, my knees are achy, my back is achy or whatever, or I'm not feeling it in the quad like I want. I can change it for something else because it's not so like dialed into like it has to be this. So anyway, so what exactly did you change up for yours tonight?
So for me, I went from doing the leg extensions to start out with, did 4 sets of those for a warm up, got everything kind of loosened up and then from there, I moved over to the belt squat. And with the belt squat, I did 4 sets with a very wide stance, kind of pushing my hips back and leaning into the squat a bit more. And from that, after those 4 sets, the last set of that, I kind of just went as many as I could. And then from there, I switched up the stance that I was using and brought my feet in more and kept more upright instead of pushing so far back on the hips. And just kind of focused more on just staying more vertical, upright in the movement. And it really targeted and focused my quads a lot, just went for that until, like I said, I did another 4 sets of it, but it was, again, the last set, just as many as I could get until that was just like my leg was just fried. And then from there, I went over to the leg press and just threw like 90 pounds on it or so, and did one-legged leg press. So just threw it up there and just did as many as I could on one side until that was all I could get. And then I just swapped over to the other leg, just kept going back and forth until I was burnt out and done.
Yeah, see, this is one of the sets I was talking about earlier. So I did 10 at the top half, and now I'm doing 10 at the bottom half. And then I'll do 10 full range, which watching it, it doesn't really look like I'm going halfway. It looks like I go a little bit deeper or I go a little bit further than halfway. And when I'm doing it, that's what it feels like. And then when I was doing the full range, I was just trying to get like a full total extension of the knee, and then getting the hip in there, and then getting the hamstring as well, and just a hard contraction. But the main thing I was trying to do tonight was get a massive pump and a lot of burn in the muscle, and just to really pump the quad up, because I haven't got a pump on my quads, a really good pump, in probably about 2 weeks. I know I'm depleted. I know that I'm in a calorie deficit, and it's going to be harder and harder to get good pumps the deeper and deeper I get into my cut. But it doesn't mean I can't still get pumps. And tonight was by far probably one of the best pumps I've had in 2-3 weeks on my legs. And like I said, I had veins shooting out everywhere, because if your routine, if you're working out and your routine feels like it's getting to the point where the weights are getting so heavy, you're starting to dread it and you're just trying to make it through it, or if you have so many sets or so many exercises or so many movements, you just feel like you're trying to get through it, change it up. Like don't go in there half-heartedly just trying to make it through your workout. If your workout becomes stagnant or boring, or if you feel like you're just in there straining and you're not getting nothing out of it, change it up. Because I've said it the whole time, I'm a volume junkie. I love volume. I love working out 6 days a week, everything twice a week. And I like doing at least 16 sets per body part. But that doesn't mean I'm going to do 4 exercises per body part. I might do 2 exercises, 8 sets and 8 sets. I might do 10 sets and 16 sets. I might do 14 sets and 2 sets. It just depends on how I'm feeling and what's going on for the night. So, and I might go back and forth. I might do 5 on this one, 5 on this one, go back to this one and do 6 on that one. And I might add a third exercise in there. So I might do 5 sets of this, 5 sets of this, 6 sets of this. Like it doesn't matter. I might get on a training block where I'm like, okay, this feels good. I'm going to run this for a couple of weeks and then I'll change it out. But right now what I'm doing is I'm getting tired and I'm feeling fatigued because of my calories are low. So I need to go in there and pick something that I know I can go with a lot of reps, a lot of weight, high intensity, high volume, and not gas because it's like, oh, I still have this and 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 crap. I could go in there and be like, all right, what feels good tonight? Do this for 3 sets. That's not it. Go to this. Do that for 2-3 sets. Okay, this is the ticket tonight, and just cook on that until it's done. Because like I said, there's nothing that so crucial that you're like, if you don't do this, you're not going to develop. It's just not the way it works. It's the best and the most elite in the world. It doesn't matter what routine or what exercise they do. They're going to train it at their absolute maximum potential and get everything they can out of that lift, regardless of what it is. And they're still going to excel and they're still going to do great.
Yeah, absolutely. Like for me though, I don't mind doing like what we did tonight a lot, because I'm from the beginning, I've always really said that I like being able to feel exactly what I'm working out. Like, so if I'm like tonight working quads, I want to be able to feel the quad. I want to know like that's the exact spot that I'm hitting. And with what we did tonight, that's all I felt it in. I didn't really have any movements where I was straining, and I know I was working the area, but I wasn't getting like the feel that I wanted. I was able to keep the feel focused on the quad. Like you did hack squats tonight. For me, hack squats have always been more of a strain over feel, like just in how the movement works. So like doing these one-legged leg presses, like I kept the focus in the quad exactly where I wanted to. It burned, it hurt, but like it was exactly what I was wanting. It focused exactly where I wanted it, and that's what I like. That's how I enjoy working out.
Yeah, well, it's just like, for instance, for arm night, like for the first couple of weeks I was doing concentration curls, I felt it in my bicep. I felt such a hard, deep contraction in my bicep. Now when I do concentration curls, I don't feel it in my bicep no more. I just feel strained. So it's like, okay, time to get rid of that. So I'm at that point where it's like, I want to feel the muscle working. And if I'm doing a workout, let's say for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and I'm feeling that muscle engage, I'm going to keep going until I don't feel it no more. And then once I don't feel it no more, I have no problem changing it out. And that's why I'm changing the routine up right now, because it's getting to the point now where my body's getting so adapted to all the different angles and movements and different positions. I want to kind of unadapt it So I'm going to pick 1 or 2 exercises per body part when I go in there. And then the next time I come in and train, let's say chest. So Monday night when I train chest, I'll pick 1 or 2 exercises. And then Thursday night when I train it again, I'll pick 2 completely different exercises. And then when I come in the next week, I might pick the same ones that I picked on Monday and Thursday, or I might change them out. Or if Thursday felt good, I'll do those again on Monday. And I'm going to try to get my body where it's unadapted to certain movements. But as long as the movement I'm doing, I'm feeling it 100% where I want to feel it, and it's hitting the muscle like I want to hit it, I'm going to go. Because right now what I'm trying to do is get volume and intense volume, right? And you say, oh, well, intensity isn't about doing a bunch of volume, and volume's not about doing intensity. Well, I like to do enough volume till it becomes intense, and I feel the muscle screaming in agony, and then I like to push it further than that. And that's what I enjoy doing right now. So that's, well, like I said, I'm not married to nothing. And what I was doing was working for a while, doing all those different varieties. But right now at this point, I feel like I'm not getting much out of it. So I'm changing it up. I'm still doing the same amount of volume. I'm still doing the same amount of sets, but I'm changing up what I'm doing to get those.
Yeah. And like I said, if that's how we continue going forward right now, that works out great. As long as we're putting in the work. Like if at the end of the night, I feel like I put the effort in and I burned out the muscle group that we were focused on, like that's an accomplished night. That's exactly what I went in there to do. So like, however we do it, if we do 12 different exercises or if we do 1 exercise, as long as at the end of it, like I feel I focused on the area, and the area that was being trained is where I felt the work at, then I feel like I had a good night. Like that's a good night of progress for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, it's funny. A little off topic here. You know, I went and looked at equipment the other day. I went to a warehouse that has a bunch of equipment, and there's a couple pieces that I wanted, but you know, everything's like $1,500 to $3,000, you know, depending on what it is, but everything typically has a good price tag on it. And I saw this one. It was a preacher curl bench, but it was a hoist, and then the whole entire thing moved. Like the armrest moved, the handles moved, and where you sit moves. Everything moves. It's the first time I've ever seen something like that, and it was the smoothest bicep movement I've ever felt in my entire life, and I fell in love with it. And I was telling my wife, like, I need this. That's like $1,400 for it, and then I was just like, I can't justify spending $1,400 on something just to specifically train my biceps. But then I walk a little bit further down, and there's this high ISO rower, and it's like $1,700. It's like, oh yeah, I would totally buy this. But it's literally the same thing, but instead of for the bicep, it's for the lat, and then it doesn't train anything else but the lat. So it's just kind of like, you know, pick and choose. But it's like, I could justify this, but not that. But and the problem is I don't have enough room in the garage to expand any more equipment, so I'd have to move things around and get rid of some stuff that I don't really use that much anymore, you know?
Yeah, but the machine, like I said, I didn't get to see it, but it sounds like it would be very nice to have and use, especially like possibly for someone like me. Like I said, I like with the wrist issue, it might work a lot better for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, maybe eventually we could go there and move some stuff out the gym that we don't need no more and do that. But I think that's going to be it for me on this one. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, that's it.
All right, guys. So remember, stay focused. Do everything you have to do to reach your goals. Don't let negative people come in and tell you that that's not going to work or you can't do it like that because whatever reason. If you feel like what you're doing is working and you're making progress and you're getting to where you need to be for your results, keep on going and ignore the naysayers. And remember, when you're in the gym, if there is no agony, there will be no bragging.
Well, yep. Catch you on the flippity flip.